Welcome into News 4 at 6 on what is a very difficult day for all of us here at NBC4 and for so many of you at home. Our beloved colleague and friend Wendy Rieger died this morning at the age of 65. She passed away holding the hand of her husband Dan at a hospice facility in Montgomery County. The cause? Glioblastoma, a vicious form of brain cancer. Wendy was loved by all of us and all of you. Smart, funny, compassionate, and a force in the anchor chair. For 30 years, she lit up the screen here at Channel 4, anchoring our 5 p.m. newscasts and winning multiple Emmy Awards. She was at the forefront of the Going Green movement, launching a weekly segment and blog in the 2000s. Her career included stops at WAMU, WTOP, and CNN's Washington Bureau. But this was her home. She called all of us here at News 4 her tribe. Doreen Gensler looks back on the life of the irrepressible Wendy Rieger.
I'm Wendy Rieger from the beautiful girl.
For almost 35 years, Wendy Rieger had a way of lighting up the screen.
Hi, Mom!
You never quite knew what you were going to get.
And do your own thing. And I said, okay.
Except for, yeah, you did. You knew exactly what you'd get because for all these years, Wendy was Wendy. Smart, funny, compassionate, and authentically herself. She shared a lot of her life with us over the years. Her homes, her cats, her boat, her love of wine, and her deep love of our area, from the waters of Maryland to the mountains of Virginia, and of course, the culture of Washington.
From the Corcoran Gallery, I'm Wendy Rieger.
Wendy came to Washington to study at American University. Her career started in radio with her strong, expressive voice emanating from WAMU and WTOP. But when she started here at NBC4,
Hey there, I'm Wendy Rieger. Welcome.
it was clear that Wendy belonged in front of the camera.
This is the Bay.
You may remember Wendy's unique coverage of hurricanes up and down the East Coast.
Here you get a raw sense of this wind.
She also reported from the Olympics in Brazil,
Hearing the anthem being played tonight.
a royal wedding in England, and she chased news from New Zealand to Vietnam over the years. And for 20 years, she was that fun, engaging friend to check in with every evening at 5. First with Susan Kidd, then for 14 years with the guy she calls Hanley. Their chemistry was magical from the start, and we could hear their howling laughter in the makeup room, at their desks, or even on the set.
Good evening, I'm Wendy Rieger.
Yeah, buckle up, folks. I'm Jim Hadley.
Spontaneous and fun? Oh, yes. But Wendy also knew her stuff. Producers always knew Wendy could ad-lib complicated foreign policy news or a breaking political story. She was also one of the first television journalists to regularly cover the environment with her breakthrough Going Green series. And oh, can she write? Her scripts were the standard we all aspired to reach. Here's how our late colleague and Wendy's dear friend Jim Vance described her writing talent.
Because Wendy is one finely skilled person with a pen.
The last story Wendy wrote was a heartfelt reflection on our late colleague Joe Krebs. She was going to miss his funeral that week because she wasn't feeling well. As it turned out, a brain tumor was the cause of her symptoms, and that diagnosis came just a few months after Wendy had open heart surgery, which she and I had talked about in an interview. She wanted to warn people to pay attention to their symptoms. Through all of that, on TV and off, Wendy showed all of us just what kind of strength she had. And when she signed off the air after 33 years, we saw our strong, smart, creative, curious friend look back with pride and look ahead with hope.
And all of you out there, thank you for letting me in your home. Thank you for letting me tell your stories. This is not goodbye. I will be around. I will see you at the pub. We're counting.
Wendy's cancer returned just a few months after that magical day. In a note to the newsroom, she wrote this: "As you know, I have lived my life big and loud. It is my nature, and I've had a blast. But a stillness has come over me that is profound and potent. I didn't know I could be this quiet. Life is not always a test, she wrote. It is a teaching. I must learn this lesson with grace. And I will. And you did, Wendy. You did. With the grace and dignity we will always remember.
So many of you have been sharing your thoughts and memories of Wendy on social media. Journalists, colleagues, organizations, and political figures throughout the DMV telling stories about how Wendy touched their lives. Here's just a few of those online tributes. DC Mayor Muriel Bowser wrote, "Wendy delivered the news honestly, with humor, heart, and expertise, and she will be missed dearly." The DC Council called Wendy a talented journalist and a quality human being. She truly loved making the most of life in the district. She will be missed. Ben's Chili Bowl tweeting, "She was such a beautiful light, so full of life, a true DC icon." Maryland Governor Larry Hogan called Wendy one of a kind, saying she will be dearly missed. And our former colleague Aaron Gilchrist wrote, "Wendy never made anyone feel like a stranger. If you entered her space, you were immediately valued. Her warmth enveloped you. Her wit charmed you. Her smile blessed you. Her hug made you feel like family." We know that you all loved Wendy as much as we did. News 4 spoke to a viewer today who told us about the impact Wendy had in her life and in the community.
I found out about it this morning, and I just felt like, wow. You know, I just couldn't imagine, you know. She's always just been a part of, the news, which makes her a part of our family. Every time you hear something like that and something that's sad and someone passes, and especially somebody like her who had so much of a presence in the community, you know, it's like losing a friend. So it's sad to hear, you know, she's such a great person, and we're really going to miss her. We really are.
We'll have tributes to Wendy throughout the weekend here on NBC4 and in the NBC Washington app, and we hope you will join us tomorrow morning. Doreen Gensler and Jim Handley will be anchoring a special edition of News 4 Today. Join us at 9 o'clock as we look back on the life of Wendy and share memories with some of her favorite colleagues. All right, let's take a turn now. Important we get to the weather forecast on this holiday weekend because we're talking about a chance of some showers and storms. Samar, what do you know?
Yeah, we are. We've already been tracking rain right now on the radar. In fact, we have some showers, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder out there. Take a look right now. You can see where a lot of the showers are set up down towards Fauquier County in Warrenton and Manassas, out towards Fairfax and right on up into Bethesda. This is moving to the east and it's going to cross over I-95. Now, we're not looking at a major severe potential with this, but we are looking at a very strong gusty winds. Big picture shows the front that will be moving through, and this should all wrap up by about 9 o'clock, by 9 p.m. crossing over into the bay. We're going to talk more about the rain, how cool it's going to be for your Easter Sunday, and our next big chance for rain coming up at the top of the week. Corey.
All right, thank you so much, Samar. We'll check back in with you in just a bit, and we'll be right back with some of today's top stories and more memories of our Wendy Rieger. All right, we're back with some breaking news out of South Carolina, where this afternoon a gunman opened fire inside a mall in Columbia. Police say 10 people were shot, and 2 of those victims are in critical condition. 2 others were injured as people raced to get out of the building. It's unclear right now just how badly those folks are hurt, but police say they have detained 3 people, and they do not believe this was a random shooting. Well, back here at home, we've got an update on last night's chaotic shooting scene at a carnival that was held outside Garfield High School in Woodbridge. Police say a 14-year-old girl was shot during a fight between 2 groups that had just left the carnival around 9:30. The sound of gunshots sent people scattering. Officers assigned to work security at the carnival found the girl in the parking lot. She was shot in the stomach and flown to the hospital. She is expected to survive. It's unclear whether she was affiliated or known to the groups involved in that fight. Meanwhile, the shooter is still at large. Police are asking people with any video or information about the shooting to give them a call. Well, it's a somber day of remembrance for those in the Virginia Tech community. Today marks 15 years since a student opened fire on the university's campus in Blacksburg. 32 people were killed and 17 others wounded. The gunman then took his own life. Several events are planned this weekend to honor the lives lost, including a wreath-laying ceremony, midnight candle lighting, and a remembrance run. The tragedy also being remembered by the Annandale community today, where family and friends gathered for a rededication ceremony at the memorial for Mary Reed. Reed's life was taken in the attack in Blacksburg. Now a memorial created to honor her stands in Canterbury Woods Park. Mary was a top student. She was a clarinet player and color guard member at Annandale High School, planning to become a teacher when she enrolled at Virginia Tech. All right, still ahead, the gift that keeps on giving. Ahead, celebrating half a century of pandas here in D.C. But first, another memory from our dear Wendy Rieger.
We're being trusted with people's stories. And in order to tell them well, you have to feel it. And if that means you get emotional, let them see you. Let them see you get emotional. You know, you have to feel it. You cannot, we're not robots, and we're not facades, and we're not mannequins, and we're not cardboard cutouts. We're human beings that have been trusted by the people of the community to tell their stories, and most of their stories are sacred.
Well, it's hard to believe, but it's been 50 years since the start of the giant panda conservation program at the National Zoo. The giant pandas were a gift from China, and guests have been watching the panda family grow ever since. News 4's Derek Ward looks at the impact of the program and how it continues on 50 years later.
They were the D.C. couple back in the spring of 1972. 50 years ago this week, Sing Sing and Ling Ling arrived from China, a goodwill gesture amid hopes of warming relations between that country and the U.S. Fast forward 50 years and their successors, Mai Xiang, Chen Shen, and baby Xiao Qi-ji, who's hiding somewhere, they may all be out of politics, but they're still influencers.
I often refer to pandas as the poster child for conservation, you know, the positive efforts that we've put forth for conservation that have actually made a difference.
They've come back from the brink of extinction, though they're still vulnerable. There are only about 1,800 of them in the wild.
They're not out of the bamboo woods yet, but we're certainly in a better place than we were.
And here at the National Zoo, they can still draw a crowd for obvious reasons.
They're just cute.
Researchers have learned and shared volumes about panda behavior and health.
Not only has the panda's presence here been a benefit for that species, it's benefited just about every animal there.
And the crowds at the concessions are helping research and conservation efforts with other animals that might not be as cuddly. At the Smithsonian National Zoo, Derek Ward, News 4.
All right, Samara, I'm thinking about all those local pit masters out there getting their grills ready for this Easter holiday weekend. Hopefully it's not going to be a washout, though.
Oh no, by the time they're pulling the grills out tomorrow, everything will be quiet. They may need a little bit of a light jacket or to stay warm over that grill because it's going to be chilly with temperatures dropping significantly behind the front. Now the front hasn't quite passed all the way through yet, and on its leading edge, we are seeing the radar just light up. This happened very quickly. Take a look. When we see colors like that dark of a red right over, I guess that's Route 29 near Route 1 I-95 headed towards Laurel, that's some very heavy rain. That's a very heavy downpour, and we're seeing strong gusts with these thunder showers, so to speak. Even a few lightning strikes out there earlier. You head down and out towards Bowie, Maryland, out towards Mitchellville. We have some heavy rain that way into Fairfax, even some light rain in Washington, D.C., and then back into Prince William and Fauquier County. We've got a pretty strong shower that way. So that leading edge is going to sweep through, and then we see the final line of the front push through, and we should be dry on the other end overnight. Here's a look at Futurecast. 9 p.m. You can see the heaviest of the rain is making its way across the bay. We dry out and clear out for your Sunday before clouds move in Monday morning, and more rain, heavy rain, Monday night into Tuesday. In our higher elevations, they may be in for a little bit of a wintry mix on Monday morning. Over the next few hours, because current temperatures right now 75 degrees, we are going to see a very stark drop off here, and you may see those temperatures fluctuate a lot where we're seeing very heavy rainfall, but leveling out in into the 50s and then 40s overnight. Back to the north and west up into State College in the 40s already. Stark contrast here in D.C. in the mid to upper 70s. Okay, so let's talk about that cooler air. It's moving in for your Easter Sunday. Tons of sunshine out there, so it'll be beautiful for the kiddos who are going to be doing any Easter egg hunts if you're headed to church or brunch. The thing is, a little bit on the cool side with temperatures in the mid-50s, but no rain to contend with tomorrow, so that's good news. One thing you'll want to do is keep the jacket out Sunday night into Monday morning. It's so cold that they've actually issued a freeze watch for a lot of our counties west of I-95 in areas like Loudoun, northern Fauquier, Frederick, even parts of northern Montgomery and Howard County. Temperatures could drop below freezing. The temperature trend is headed into the 70s by Thursday. So if you're waiting to return to what we saw today, you've got to give it some time. This is some strong cool air that's moving in, and it's going to stick around and take a bit of time before we warm back up. So here's a look at the next 4 days. A few takeaways I want you to take away. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. You're dry for your Easter Sunday, but you are cool. Monday, that's going to be a soaker of an evening commute with heavy rain. By Wednesday, we're in the low 60s, and we do head back to the 70s, looking like a really nice weekend next weekend. Corey?
Thank you very much, Samara. Well, as we remember Wendy Rieger, we're left with some wise words of wisdom from someone who learned to embrace even the toughest of situations. Here's Wendy talking about letting go and getting out of your comfort zone.
It's funny because I went to American University, which is like 3 blocks up the road, and I tell people in 43 years I didn't get very far. I've only come like half a block. But I think there was just a point where you just think you have to let go, and you don't want to stagnate, and you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. What's the point of that? Because you're afraid? Because you're afraid of doing something else? Because you're afraid you don't know what you're going to do? You got to let go and go out. You're not going to be able to find a new path if you don't leave the one you're on. So I felt like it was going to be time, and if I ended up just mowing the lawn and growing cabbage, there you go. What are you doing these days? I'm mowing the lawn and growing cabbage. You know, it's things you have to let go so things come to you. And that's sort of how I felt. So there was not, and again, during that time, just this year, the last 7 months, I got a fairly stunning diagnosis. And that sort of said to me, sort of validated the direction I was heading in. So it was now, well, you were planning on retiring, 6 months from now. Seems like it really makes sense now. There's no reason to be afraid. You have something else to be afraid of. So keep going. It just made sense. And friends of mine who are still doing what they're doing and bitching about how much they hate it, and I go, why don't you retire? And it's amazing how many excuses we'll come up with that are just another way for us to say, I'm afraid. And I want to say, of what? I'm more afraid of not doing something new. I'm more afraid of stagnation than I am of a frontier that is a landscape that is new to me.
All right, Lizzo, how you feeling? Yeah, the singer, actress, and all-around boss is doing a hair toss, checking her nails as she prepares for double duty on SNL. She'll be the host and musical guest on tonight's show. Lizzo graced the SNL stage back in 2019 as a musical guest. You can watch the show tonight right after News 4 at 11. Before we go, let's get one final check of your forecast with Samara.
Hey, Corey, I want to bring everyone up to speed because this happened very quickly. We started to see a lot more rain and thunder showers popping up on the radar. A few strikes of lightning out there, downpours at times, especially north of the Beltway. I want you to give this about 2 to 3 hours. By 9 p.m., this clears the region with a larger front moving through, and we will quiet down and be prepared for a very cool Easter Sunday with highs tomorrow in the mid-50s. Corey?
All right, thank you so much, Samara, and thank you for joining us on what's been a very, very tough day here at News 4. Nightly News is next, and we hope you will join us tonight at 11 as we continue to celebrate the life of our dear friend, Wendy Rieger. Be safe out there.